Hey everyone, well, welcome you to another edition of the IWCA show. We are so happy to have Curt Kempton with us. So, how you doing, Curt?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, Gabe.
Awesome. Well, for those of you who don't know, Curt is the CEO of Size, and you guys are the makers of Responsibid, which is a bidding software. So, I'm a user of Responsibid. I've used it for many years. I love it. Could you just tell us a little bit about what Responsibid is and why it's such a valuable tool for window cleaners?
Yeah, the short way we try to put it is that responsive helps you to quote quickly, follow up flawlessly, and schedule smartly. The sales process is normally a bunch of chaos for home service providers. Sort of in the early days, for it's chaotic because you're doing everything, and then in the later days, it gets chaotic because everybody's got their finger in the sales process somewhere, and it's hard to keep it all organized.
Yeah.
So, Responsive helps you to do all that. And we say that the benefit of it is it'll help you close a higher percentage of jobs, get a higher close rate with a higher average ticket price with a lot less effort. So
Yes.
if you ever want to check it out, you can go to responsibid.com. We offer free demos. You can chat with us on there, whatever, get your questions answered. But we are really the premier sales system for a home service provider.
Yeah, I think what really helped me out in a couple areas. One, I didn't realize how much time I was dedicating to in-person estimates.
Yeah.
And you'd finish a long day of work, and then it's like 6:30, and I'm driving over to someone's house to give them an estimate, and I'm exhausted. And so this just helps it to streamline that process. Not every house can work through Responsibid, but 80% of our bids are through Responsibid. And then you get the kind of weary, really big house that we have to go on site for. But it saved me a lot of time. But the other thing too that helped out was it cut out the nickel and dimers. I hated
Mm.
nothing worse than showing up to a job. You give the bid and like, oh, okay, well, what if we don't do this room over here? Or what if I invite my other neighbors to come in on this? Can you give me a break? And now it's just like there's a price out there. It's going to be higher than what I would normally bid even in person, and people accept it. So it's been a really nice experience for myself personally.
What CM are you using, Gabe?
The customer factor, which it's works seamlessly with. We
Yeah.
do the bid on Responsibid, it pops right into the customer factor, have all their information. It's not a bunch of duplicate data entry, so it works out really nice.
At Responsicon, we announced bundles a little while back, and I know you're referring to all the quotes that you probably give instantly through your website for
Yeah.
those the ones that don't work in person. But when we rolled out bundling, we also rolled out some features to help you with your really raising your average ticket price in person by using Responsibid there. So when
Yes.
it connects to your CRM like Jobber, Customer Factor, Service Monster, House Call Pro, all those different CRMs. The idea is you start the sales process in Responsibid, and then it sort of just like, as you know, it just delivers it into
Yeah.
the CRM.
No, it's great. And I did get to my first Responsibid. I saw you there this earlier this year. And yeah, I brought my office manager with me, and she was all about the bundle. She went in those little breakout rooms, where they did the brainstorming on it. So we've been doing it now. And yeah, we've actually seen some really good results. So that's pretty awesome. I really appreciated all the help with that. That was great.
Absolutely.
Now
Cool.
that there was one other thing I just wanted to mention before we go on to the big reason why I brought you on here, but that's with the upcoming rule change with the text messaging. So there have been some laws passed, and now if you're a business and you are sending out texts, there's some laws now that may apply to you. In fact, your text may be blocked and they may not go through unless you do some steps. We won't get into the full details of it, but could you just
Yeah.
update us a little bit on what's changed and why it's important to take action now?
Yeah. The the summary of it is that the reason I know this stuff is that Responsibid, as I said earlier, helps you follow up flawlessly. And part of what we do is we have a connection to Zapier, or sorry, we do have a connection to Zapier. We have a connection to Twilio,
Julio,
which will
yeah.
allow you to have follow-ups that are from your like a text messaging number, and it'll
Mhm.
be on automation. Well, the problem is that what we're doing with perfectly good people is the same thing that bad people do, that are
Yes.
sending out text messages in an automated way that are spam. And so what's happened is the FCC, the Federal Communication Commission, um, they've been working with cell phone providers, cell carriers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, so on. They've been working with all of them to try and figure out, how do we allow the good people to continue to be able to do this, but block the bad guys? And the short synopsis is just make you jump through a bunch of hoops. The spammers, it's not efficient enough for them to jump through all the hoops. And so they've added some fees. Like if you don't get registered, it costs more. Well, spammers, they don't want to pay more, so they're not going to use it at higher rates. So then, okay, cool. You don't want to pay those fees. Then you have to register and you have to prove that you have a business license, and you have to do, and there's like a list of like 15. In fact, if you go to the Responsible Facebook page, we did an interview with Amber Jones.
Yes.
And she sort of walked us through her checklist of all the things you have to do. I'm not even kidding you. They've invented like all new authorization programs. And this is not just for responsible users. I think it's really important to recognize that we have a connection to Twilio, but so does Customer Factor. Yeah. So does House Call Pro. So does so many others. And in our day and age, a lot of good actors, right? So as opposed to a bad actor, a lot of good actors are trying to send automated text messages. So if you are in any way, shape, or form in your company sending text messages that are not from your cell phone, meaning you're using a VoIP or some similar service, a text message blasts, those are a big one. There's a ton you have to do for those.
Yes.
So if you're sending, as they call it, app to peer, so if you're on your phone, it's called peer-to-peer. If you're doing app to peer, you need to watch that Facebook Live. Head over to Responsibid. It's just facebook.com/Responsibid. Watch that Facebook Live with Amber Jones. She'll answer a ton of your questions. But whatever you do, don't just sit around and do nothing, because the turn of the month is when things are going to start really lighting up. And it's not hard work. It's just a lot of tedious work, which again, that's what they're doing to try and block the bad guys.
Yeah. And it's also work that I think business owners like us don't really do. We don't deal with that stuff. So it can kind of be intimidating. And you see all of these, like you said, the checklists, and like, I don't even know what half of these things are. How do I do it? So I think that's the really nice thing, since I'm a part of the Responsible Users group in Facebook. There's links that my office manager really benefited from that Facebook Live interview that Amber did.
Good.
That helped her out so much, because she was in on the, I think you guys had a special program or something on through I can't remember but it was for Responsible. She listened to that and that helped, but the Facebook Live one with Amber really kind of brought it full circle, and we're able to get our process done. So if you are a user of Responsible, take advantage of that Facebook group, because it'll help walk you through all of the processes. And then when it's all done, you feel so good, because then you don't have to worry about it when that deadline comes. And what is it, July 5th? Is it it's coming out?
Yeah, I think it's July 5th. I think
July 5th,
it actually was originally like June 1st or 16th or something like that. And it was just such a big bottleneck of people getting in. They actually pushed the date back. I want to, it's important to make this distinction. Some of you are using automated text messaging through an app that you're not connected to, where you actually own the number. So as an example, back in the day, Responsibid used to just take care of the whole Twilio connection. We would buy your number for you. We would pay for it. It's $1 a month. And then like a text message costs like 1/100th of a cent or something silly. So we just added it to the Responsibid functionality and didn't worry about it. Years ago, we knew this was coming, and we had to stop owning the phone number, and everyone was ticked. We said, I'm sorry, you gotta transfer your number to yourself. You gotta do it. And we hated every bit of it. Like, it was just a bunch of work, and it was for us and for our customers and all that, as you know. But we had to get ahead of this because of what was coming. And so I want to say something to the people who don't own the phone numbers that they're doing this through. You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You've got to talk to whoever it is that controls your number and ask what they're doing for compliance, because what they're doing is out of compliance. You cannot be sending text messages through a phone number that you don't own, because now that you own the number, now you have to explain to them everything you're doing with that number in the different cases. And it's these hoops that you got to jump through. And the other company can't do it on your behalf, not legally. And it's going to end up coming back to bite you in the butt. And this reminds me exactly when SEO started getting really dirty back in the old days.
That's a good comparison. Yeah.
They would color it the color of the background of their computer, of the page, and they had all these keyword stuffing, it was called. And then they would share a bunch of leaks illegitimately with each other. It's called black hat SEO. And people were getting away with it and doing really well. and it was really great. And then Google came out with the Panda update. That was the most famous one, but they had like Panda 2. They had a couple other ones too. And all of a sudden, these people who are ranking at the top, they just disappeared. This reminds me so much of that. So,
Yeah.
okay, I think we've already talked too much about it, but it is important that people know if you don't control your number, you're
Yeah.
not off the hook. You need
Yeah.
to talk to whoever it is that's controlling it and ask what their contingency plans are and how are you going to do this, because it needs to be dealt with.
Awesome. That's really vital information. So thanks so much for going into the detail, into the weeds with us on that. So awesome. But the reason why we wanted to have you on here is because the huge convention is coming up. And all IWCA members have a free ticket to the huge. Some of us may have never been to the huge before. And so first off, could you just tell us a little bit about the convention? I know you Responsible has been a part of it since the beginning, I think. And,
Yeah.
what's the value that a small business owner like myself could get from attending the huge convention?
Yeah, so it's outgrown me since. I was the keynote speaker at the very first huge convention. It's
Nice.
crazy to think that they've outgrown me so much by this point that like it's crazy. But the fact is this is the show. This is the show that if you want to see pressure washing stuff and window cleaning stuff and meet a bunch of new people, it's just such a big opportunity to come to. And I think it's well positioned too. There's a lot of shows at the beginning of the year. This one is sort of off on its own in the dog days of summer. And,
Mhm.
a lot of us slow down. Even, Gabe and I are here in
Yeah,
Arizona. Like,
that's our life.
yeah,
Slow
it's
down
hot as
in
heck.
August.
But in August, pretty much the whole country, we've seen the response to bid numbers. You guys are giving a lot less proposals. You're typically you're waiting for that fall rush to happen. It's that little lull. And so anyway, it's an awesome opportunity to learn a bunch of stuff. IWCA, I feel like, well, there are a lot of things that have changed over the years, but IWCA is where I would go to get my training on
Yeah,
how to run my window cleaning company, to get certified on my safety protocols
right.
and handbooks and stuff like that. The huge convention is a little more generic than that. It's sort of like business building, networking with like very large swaths of people. People will be there that have been in business many, many years. There'll be people who've been in business are actually getting ready to go into business.
Mhm.
It's a very wide range. And there will be a keynote that will be important and get you all riled up, but there will be breakout rooms that are going to be like really like there'll be a track for you. No matter what situation you're in
Yes.
your business, there'll be a track for you to go to. So love the huge convention. It's a super great opportunity.
And I think also just the exposure to different products that you just didn't know about. When I found out about Responsibid, it wasn't at the huge, it was at the ICE Expo. You remember that years ago?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Oh
met
man,
you there, and you just talked me up and you convinced me. It was kind of the first big convention that I went to where I got exposure to different things, but I had no clue anything like that existed. And I was at that spot where I was growing, like I mentioned, and I was kind of spending way too much time on the estimates. So it just fit just perfectly where I was at. And had I not attended a convention like that, I would never even have known that something like that existed. So especially if you're an up and coming business owner and you're wanting to kind of get to the next stage in your business, attending a convention like the huge, it can be really beneficial just because of the exposure to what's out there. You know,
oh,
and
that's
things that
great.
maybe you heard about 2 years ago that you didn't really affect you. Now you're maybe in the spot where, hey, I could actually benefit from this. This is something that could help. So you just don't know until you're there. And I think what you hit the nail on the head too with the networking. Being able to meet people, some who are going to be where you're at, and you can kind of commiserate. Some are where you want to be, and you can ask them for advice and kind of pick their brain. So I think that's
Yeah,
what makes it cool.
some of my deepest friendships started when I went to my very first show, didn't know who anyone was.
Mhm.
Some of my deepest friends to this day um, are people that I met at the very first show. It was an IWCA show in San Diego.
Mhm.
For me, Jason Klavansky, Damon Casillas,
Mhm.
Jason Evers, all these people that just like I would have never, Sheila Smeltzer, I never would have known who these people were.
Yeah.
I met it, and they just come to you and they just help you and they love you,
Yeah.
love on you, and then you do anything for them too.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Now we have other incentives. In fact, a really huge incentive, and that's what I really want you to talk about. So there is an incredible giveaway that's taking place, and it's going to be for someone's going to win this. But it is a prize giveaway of over $150,000 worth of services to one business owner who is looking to just skyrocket his business. So could you tell us a little bit more of the details of this really awesome giveaway?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So first off, there's a group that we put together called the Collective. It's a bunch of different vendors who we try to like make it really clear, like by not having a bunch of vendors in it that do the same thing. So all the vendors do totally different things. And we were talking about the huge convention, and we're like, we want to put all our booths next to each other. So we did. We're gonna get this big island, and we're all going to be in the collective. It'll be like the Collective booth with a bunch of little vendors inside. Responsibit is one, but just to name a few, Prolific Brands is in there. If you know Ryan Kettering, Jill's office is in there. If you know the people at Jill's, Conquer is in there. That's the Brandon Vaughn coaching and mentoring group. We've got Dunzo and powerwash.com. Actually, Powerwash Academy is the technically one in the thing. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. There's so many Yeti books and so many. So what we did is we said, okay, we're all together. Let's do something crazy. And originally we're like, we should give away a car, and like a Corvette. And we're like, oh, we should give away a Corvette. Okay, yeah, we could give away a Corvette. But then we were like, well, that's going to be a pain in the neck. Like, who wants to pay the taxes on that and all that? And then strap a ladder to it. So maybe so maybe we should do a work truck. And they're like, still, So anyway, what we did is we're like, let's just do something that's totally life-changing. And let's give away the biggest makeover transformation anyone could ever experience in their business with basically every tool, every support. So I can't list everything off right this second, but essentially just understand this. Every vendor has donated basically their flagship, best of the best stuff that they have to offer. Just as an example, because I'm very close to Responsibit, you'll get a year of our premium flagship product. You'll get me coming out in person to help you set it up and get your company squared away on it. You will get 2 tickets to our ResponseCon. Gabe and I were talking just a little bit earlier. And we give away all this stuff so that you can be at the workshop, so that you can have the best tools, so that you can have the best setup on it and everything. And basically every vendor is doing something just like that. Collaborate Pros, they're giving away a whole year of you basically moving straight to the top of your SEO. Yeah. So there's all this stuff that's going on, right? And the idea is we take some business and we show what's possible when you're dialing on all cylinders. And we're basically going to just turn somebody's business into like the greatest thing that's ever happened.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So you can go to the huge convention Facebook page, and it has all the details, including the video. I think Brandon Vaughn's in the video. He's the one talking about it, and he explains every part of this pack. It is really amazing. I wouldn't say I'm an up and coming company, but I want this package.
Yes. So, well, anyone. Anyone. Let me just say this. It's $150,000 of ROI. Yes. So when you get this, it's not like, oh, cool, this is worth $150,000. Yes. That's kind of what we felt about the truck. A truck will depreciate. What will happen is this $150,000 will boom into $1 million. Boom into $2 million, and this is your business. The thing you own is just going to just keep exponentially exploding.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good, really good point, because this is not just $150 that's going to go into your bank account, which would be awesome. This is an investment in your company that could balloon to $1 million if you do everything right and easy, right? So. Yeah, it's just a really great opportunity to take advantage of things that maybe you're looking at. You're like, man, I would really love to be in this program, but the budget is just not set for it. You now got the budget. So
Yeah.
what an awesome giveaway, man. I'm really excited for it. And whoever gets it, I'm just really excited to follow their progress, which I'm sure you guys are going to chart, because that's
Yep.
awesome advertising for all of you guys, right? To say, hey,
Yep.
we took this guy and he was $100,000 a year, business, and now look where he's at when he put all of these tools together. So, I mean, man, what better advertising than that? So that's awesome. Really, really excited for you guys and for the upcoming convention. Anything you want to add before we close up shop here?
Well, I just want to make sure you guys that are listening, you're in the IWCA. You can come for free. Getting a ticket to enter into this giveaway is very, very easy. You can just walk into our booth, and we give you lots of different ways to earn these tickets that you can put into the drawing. You guys get to come for free. I mean, sure, you got to pay your plane ticket. You'll want to find a place to sleep and shower while you're there. But like, honestly, what you guys have done for the IWCA and getting there for free is absolutely amazing. Please make sure that you're there. And I hope that you win, you listener, I hope you win the $150,000 giveaway. But honestly, I've made millions by going to these conventions, not in terms of prizes, but in terms of relationships and knowledge. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, be there.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Curt. Really appreciate it, bud. And hopefully I get to see you there. Thanks again. And we look forward to seeing the winner of this. And like I said, following their progress. Maybe it'll be you guys. So please, everyone in the IWCA, get your ticket, get down there. We'll see you there. Enjoy. So take care. Have a great day.